Have a wonderful time, and I will see you after. Greetings, beloved entities. It is such a joy to have this opportunity to chat with all of you about the subject at hand and about other things going on, because it is important to understand that there is no such thing as what you call isolated incidents. Everything connects to everything else. So the things that you are dealing with on what you would call a personal level also have to do with how you are being affected by what is going on universally. So it is important to allow yourself to know what you feel and to know what your thoughts are on the subject of what you feel, and to be open to the wisdom of the universe, to be inspired to a response, a reaction, a behavior, an activity of some sort, to be responsive to what occurs to you to do in the face of whatever is going on with you, because it is important to understand that what is going on, not just in your country, but all over the world, is impacting everybody on a very personal level. Even people who are used to living in repressive regimes are being impacted by the clash of ideologies that is going on today and for the last year and a half, especially. And we will say to you, will undoubtedly continue to be going on for the next year and a half, possibly 2 years. But that is not to say that there is nothing that you can do. What you can do is you can join with others who feel as you do. You can join in meditation groups. When you come together to meditate together, the power of your meditation, the power of your intention is amplified tenfold. So it is good to create opportunities for group meditation on the subject of peace and equanimity. Just those two words, peace and equanimity, will handle everything else that is going on. So if you pray for peace and equanimity, if you pray for the wisdom to know how to express peace and equanimity, if you pray for the inspiration to the action that you must take, to the people that you must join with, to invite in people who can add the power of their thought to yours in order to effect a more global result, shall we say, because it will have a result if you begin a practice of, and we're not asking you, although we would love to see it, have you do daily group meditations. We understand that your lives are very, very busy and fractured in many, many ways, and that becomes difficult. But if you could be willing to add to your calendar twice a week a time for a group meditation, and to do it this way, coming together on the computer like this, coming together physically in a space together, if it is possible, is more powerful. But coming together this way, where a group of you are focused on the same thing for 20 minutes, doesn't have to be a lengthy meditation, 20 minutes to just focus on peace and equanimity. And in that focus, to imagine a cloud of blue and white light emanating out of you into your world, so that it touches what you are feeling, what you are intending, touches everything that you come in contact with that day and likely for several days afterwards. So if this is something that you can do, that you are willing to do, it would be brilliant to get together, not just this group here together, but each of you to form a group of some sort together in any way that you want, of 3 or 4 or 10 people, however you want to do it, but minimally 3 together, to take 20 minutes twice a week, regularly, calendared, committed, intended to alter the consciousness of your planet in order to effect the change that you want to see. Now, that is not to say that everything that is happening at this time in your country and other countries around the world is bad. Some of the things are not bad. Some of the things are extremely detrimental to creativity and productivity of a people at large, whatever that means to you. And so to pray, to chant, to focus in a meditation upon peace and equanimity is the thing that will cover all the bases. And it would not be a bad idea for those of you who are so inclined and have a bit of talent in that direction to draw, paint, depict in some way what those two words indicate to you, so that you have a very clear picture in your own mind of what you are meditating on, of what you are praying for, of what your intention is focused upon. To take a few moments and even to discuss it in your meditation group, what those words mean, what they bring up in your imagination as far as an image or a thought or a feeling. What do those words mean? So that when you focus upon them, you can actually create a picture of people embracing, people shaking hands, people working together on a project, people supporting each other in their endeavors, that sort of thing. Give it a visual, because many of you are very visually oriented, so that when you visualize an image that represents the thought, the idea, it gives it a little bit more impact and power to what you are doing. And you can make it as simple and as complicated as you want to. You can send out this little dialogue to people that you would like to include in this thing so they can listen and get their own impressions about what is being suggested. You can just talk to people that you want to gather together with, people in your little community or not, people on Zoom, however you want to do it. There are many, many, many ways of gathering together as a group at a specific time. It is absolutely the power of three and more that will effect the changes that you want to see. Now, it will also be helpful, let us put it this way, for you to make sure that when you are feeling the fear that comes up with what is going on in your country, that you transform that fear to action. So when you feel as if, as this woman has many times felt powerless, helpless, what can she possibly do at her advanced years of age where she has very little energy for anything these days? What can she possibly do? When that fear, when that despair arises within you, you must immediately ask yourself, what can I do to transmute this fear into something productive? In her case, of course, it is always writing. It is also singing, because when you sing, and all of you here can sing, whether you think you can or not, you can sing. When you sing, you generate an energy of joy. Even if it's a sad song, you generate emotion. And emotion is what people are trying to avoid right now. People's emotions are frightening them because they don't know what to do with them. So what to do with them is to transmute them into joy. The more joy you can emit and evoke from your own being, the more you will be able to have an impact on others around you, because it will alter the cellular structure of your being. And when a thing gets to the cellular level for transmutation, or transformation, that is when change happens. So you want to make sure as often as possible that you take whatever fear, whatever despair, dismay, anger you are feeling about almost anything, but especially about what is going on in your country, and you transmute it into joy by cooking, by inviting people for cheese and wine, by writing out a poem or a little story about a girl or a boy who takes his sadness or her sadness into the river and washes it away. Anything, singing a song at the top of your voice and getting other people to sing with you. That all of those things can transmute the energy of despair into positive, into hope, into we can make this happen. Because the thought of I am powerless to do anything about this can spread and poison an entire society, which has happened in past societies and is happening in current ones. But your practice of transmuting despair and anger and fear into joy, into hope, into we can make this happen. We'll make it happen. So be it. Who has a question?
I have a comment.
All right.
I appreciate is the invitation to watch our mood and emotions, to take that and to step out of the drama. Because as I was paying attention to the Friday boycott of so many different stores as a way of revolting, but I'm not getting that is necessarily a positive action for what you're sharing, that to approach it on a whole different level might enact more powerful results.
And that different level would be?
Oh, the meditation, the transmutating of our worries and fears, rather than taking the obvious social media ideas to rebel.
And all of the above are applicable because it is taking an action that gives you a sense of satisfaction that you are taking an action, that you are doing something. Mm-hmm. And for many people, that is vitally important to feel as if they are doing something, physical action, behavioral action, in order to feel as if they are making a contribution. And those people bring them into a meditation. You can, when you sit down to do your meditation, you can invoke the presence of all who want to be able to participate, whether they know it or not. Because, of course, as you well know, you function on many levels of consciousness at all times. And so there will be a multitude of people who will want this sort of practice, don't know it, don't feel it, would poo-poo it even perhaps, doesn't matter. Bring them all in so that when you sit down to your meditation, you consciously, and you can create a verbal means of doing this, or you can simply do it in your own thinking, is you bring in everybody who is inclined to participate on any level so that you grow the power and the impact of what you are doing by incorporating and including all those, whether they know it or not, want to participate in such a practice. And understanding that not everybody thinks the same way, not everybody feels the same way, Not everybody wants the same thing, but everybody wants peace and equanimity on some level in their own life. So it is applicable universally. And those of you who are so inclined can send out a wave, a cloud of hope and joy into the universe, into the cosmic consciousness, to maybe touch a few more consciousnesses, to join in the intention of peace and equanimity. And you can create a groundswell of people all over the world. You can also invoke the participation, encouragement, and inspiration of the cosmic universal energies that are always available to assist in your endeavors, which is a whole other subject, but just for the heck of it, let us just remind you that that is available, that you don't have to do everything just by yourself, that you can call upon universal wisdom, divine energy, whatever terminology speaks to you that is part of you, but feels as if it's out there. Call it in, ring the bell, clang the chime, call the attention of the gods to join you and enhance the energy of all that you are doing for the benefit of all that is, so be it. Who else?
I know that we can do this to affect change. Is there a greater purpose for what's going on right now? Does it have to do with the waking up of people and the us going into another, elevating the dimensional levels?
It's not about dimensional movement. It is, however, about raising consciousness. It is time on the planet for more people to be thinking. And so what is going on worldwide is causing people, against many of their wills, to actually think about their lives and about what is going on in their world and about what their preferences might be, to begin to, to take a more active stance in creating their life and their world the way they want it to be. And this is true for everybody. The situation, the conditions are asking people to think about it and make decisions about their preferences for their lives. It is an arising of conscious awareness, individually and globally, and everything in between. That is if you must identify a purpose to what is going on, that is what the purpose is. Awaken the world. Why do you think the Buddhists and some of the other disciplines, spiritual disciplines, use gongs to announce an activity or a time for prayer or whatever? The sound of the gong creates a vibration within the human body to respond. It excites the nerves and the atoms and the cells of the body to create a response. So start using your gongs and your bells at the starts of your meditations in order to bring in all of the divine universal energies to work with you to create. The purpose also is to awaken intention in people. Most people go about their daily lives, do what has to be done, don't have the energy for a great deal more than getting food on the table and going to work and coming home and doing homework. Most people don't. But the fact is, everybody has a mind that is very busy all day long, no matter what they are doing. And that mind needs to be awakened to another idea, an idea of peace and equanimity, so that the thoughts that scramble through that brain every day, happens to everybody, including all of you, can be more directed to creative, productive aspects of living a life in third dimension on planet Earth at this time. The point is to ask you to be aware. Not every second of every day. You can't. It's impossible. But you can ask yourself to be aware of your thinking. Just start there. Be aware of your thinking. And when you have a thought that is not particularly helpful, pay attention. Say to the thought, your time is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or whatever you want to say to it. But acknowledge the thought. This is not a helpful thought. What would I rather be thinking about? Look at those pretty flowers over there. Look at the wonderful thing my child did the other day. Transform the thought. But first, you've got to be aware of it. So that's the first order of business, is to cause yourself to ask yourself to be aware of your thinking throughout the course of the day. Just to be aware, and to meditate twice a week. And that will make enormous changes in so much of what your life is like day to day. Guaranteed. We will bid you adieu for now, and we encourage you to think, to be, to transmute, to bring joy, to bring peace and equanimity in all that you do. So be it. Bless you.